Hello everyone, welcome back to The Witness. Today I'll be exploring the rest of the island, see if I can't manage to activate a few more lasers to get that mountain opened up. Now last time I was playing and I went to the fortress in here through the maze. I came to the conclusion that there's a couple puzzles over there that required should I say, the Tetris block mechanism, which I didn't know about yet because those are found over here in the swamps. So I'll be waiting a little bit for people to join, and then I'll be making my way into the swamps and see if I can find out how those puzzles are supposed to work and put them in practice in the maze over there. And afterwards, we'll see where we go next. Right. Let's go there now. I think this is the way I'm supposed to go here. Actually, I'm pretty sure. Now that I see the walkway. This area was always a bit confusing to me with how there's a couple areas where you need to go and you can only go there once you activate platforms and set them up in a certain direction. So this one is quite easy because I do remember the shapes being important, but there's one block right now and there's only one block we can lock in, so that should be fine. Now this should be easy, because if we do it like this, then we're locking in two blocks and it doesn't match up with the shape. Same for if we go down here. We need to block in one block, like this. And same trick over here. And now is where it gets interesting, because they will change the shapes. And we will slowly start to understand that this is what we need to do. So for this one, there's a couple gaps, but we can lock it in like this. And this is where it gets interesting, because the blocks can be in different positions. So you'd think that this might have to be the middle, and then you want to close it in like this. That's not really the case, as long as the block with a pattern is locked in the same shape, and it should always work, so this should be fine. And indeed it is. Let's go to the other side. Of course, there is really no other way to do this. So we do have to separate these two symbols then. Like this. Of course, that doesn't work now. So we can try this, but that won't work. The other thing we can do is try to block them in like this. Of course, these two aren't separated right now. But as we see, as long as the blocks within the locked off section add up to the shape, it should always work. So given that theory, we should be able to make a square. That should work. And indeed it does. Same for this one. We just add the two top ones onto the square. And again, exact same solution, because it doesn't really matter where those are inside the section as long as they all add up. And just to show you guys that that is always the case, you can even do it like this, it'll still work. Now this one's more interesting, because what we can do is put the square like so. Now we've locked in this one as well, so we can add that one on top. So as long as the the row of 3 is locked in the same shape. That should also work. And for this one, we can try to make these ones up here, and then square this section. So it would start to look like something such as this. There we go. Right, so these panels didn't do anything actually, it's just extra puzzles. Now, I know how this bridge works a bit. You can actually see it. There's 3 blocks over there, then 3 over here, and 3 over there. So this puzzle is just a visual representation of this bridge. But what you want to do is you want to do it like this, I think. So for the solution, this should work. It's just this might push it to the left, and it's already on the left. But if we solve it as such, where we connect the bridge basically with the right part, it should move to the right part. Now, the unfortunate thing about this, I know this because I've played this game before, this bridge is very slow, and there are a couple sections, I believe, where you do have to switch these up quite frequently, and they take way longer than you want them to take. You just want to move on already, but of course you can't. But in the style of The Witness, it's a nice moment of peace and reflection, or whatever it is they want to make you feel. Now, is this gate open? It is not. So we need to go up there to activate that cable. Right. So what we could do... Actually... What we could do is place this bottom one up here. These top ones up there, but of course we can't go through here because it's there's a gap there. But we can make it like this. Oh, actually, excuse me, like this. Does that work for this one as well? It doesn't, because the gap is right here this time. Let's see. Let's place this bottom one down here again, because that does seem to work. What we can try is make one of these go up here, and then the other one up here probably. So we'd get sort of a U shape, such as this. Now this one's interesting. Actually, it's not that hard. We just place this long one down here to cover these two. And then these are just 3 next to each other right here. That should connect all of them. The only problem I can see is how will we get here without crossing over a section. But I think this should work if we lock it down like this. And it does. Right. So what we could do with this one is swap these two. Swap places, so you'd get this shape. Elongated Tetris shape. And we can keep these in the same place, I think. So we'd get this. And then the elongated Tetris shape. There we go. Oh, that's interesting. That should just be the whole square. So this one's more interesting. You can't place these two next to each other because you'd have one here, and then of course one here, so they'd overlap. But you can make one square out of these. If you place this one right here, and the other one right here, they should make a perfect square when mixed together. For this one, you could use the top row, and then place this one square right here for the tetra shape. So we have the tetra shape right here, and the row on top. And this one is 3 wide, so it only covers this. Now the question is, I think this means there has to be 2 gaps in between. So it basically covers this and then this. So the question is, where do we put those? Well, we could try... Actually, no, that doesn't work. I wanted to say we could put this one to the left, but we need the full width for 2 columns for this one. So let's say we use this one, and then this one. And this has to go here. So to sort of visualize, I'm thinking of blocking off these 2, and then blocking off this section, but I still have to find a space for this row to go. I think that could work. So basically it's this, and then the 3 down here, 2 down here, 2 down here. So I think that would look something like this. Ooh, actually, that wouldn't cover this one. Actually, if I put these up too, we could get this shape, and this shape, and then 2 down here as well. So I think that would leave something like this. These are very much in like visualizations. So I think this should work, because we have, on the left we have the 2 on top of each other and the top left shape, and 3 down in the middle and 2 to the right. I think this should work. Right. Okay, interesting. So now it's at an angle, which of course doesn't work for how these puzzles work. So I'm going to assume that that might mean that the angle doesn't really matter all that much as long as you get the shape right. So to check that, let's say we rotate it clockwise until we have this shape. That does seem to work. Now what if we did it like this? Would that still work? Alright, so that has to be it then. So the shape doesn't really matter. So we can put this one like this. And maybe put this... Actually, we could make it lying down. And then this one... Actually, that's tricky to do. Actually, we could... I think we could rotate this almost completely so that it has this shape. And then we put this one on top. And then we should have both of them like this. And let's see. So the tricky part is, of course, you'd want to do it like this, but you can't go through here. Or you want to do it like so. You can't go through here. So how can we get this done? Can we just... Actually, I think we can just lock this off. That doesn't... Ah, no, actually. We can't cross over this corner then. Hmm. Am I just stupid to not see it? Yeah, of course this doesn't work either. Hmm. This one's actually quite tricky. I'm just not seeing it. Any of you guys have a clue, maybe? Because the one path that you could lock down this section would be something like this. But of course you can't really block off something like this. Hmm. So this platform is basically to... It rotates, and you can use it to get to different paths. I wish you could just do it like this. Let's just look at all the different possibilities. So this doesn't work. Of course, this doesn't work. Oh, I'm waiting, Rick. Actually, you can use both of these too. So what I want to say is you could use it like this, or you could use it like this. There's two spots it could be in. But I think for this position neither of those work because of these two gaps. Oh man. I know how frustrating it is if someone on a stream sees something and the guy who's playing just doesn't see it. Oh, wait. Jeez, come on, dude. Come on. Right, let's go left first, because that's where the cable goes. Ah, you're just too late, Rick. Oh, alright. So I have to log these in as well. So we've done these color dots before. We know we need to section those off. But we also need to close them off with a particular shape. Well, the question then is, can we get both of these in one section or not? I'd assume not, because they are different colors. But maybe we can? Okay, so we can. So we don't have to separate those colors per se, which is odd, in my opinion. I mean, it makes sense for the shape we're trying to create, right? Because this is a visual representation. But it is odd how we were taught that these colors need to be separated, but now they don't have to be. On the other hand, they are not the exact same shape, because those dots had rounded corners. These are just the squares. Maybe they work differently? Anyway, let's move on. Okay, so they can be at any angle. That doesn't matter as long as the shape is right. So we could do something like this one standing up here, and then this one going like this, and these three going like this. So that would make shape like so, I think. I think that should work. Oh, actually I did wrong. There we go. And then just like this. Does that work? I think it does. Right. So right away, I think the easiest thing to do is put that one in this corner to get these two ones included. Then we need to find a way to add this one as well. So we can add these two up here. So we'd get 1, 3, and then 2 tall, basically. We need it to be 3 tall over here. So we'd get a shape like this, because of this piece. And then 2 tall, 3 tall, 1 tall. I think that would include everything. So this one's 2 tall. So basically I'm stacking this one up here and this one up here, and then setting them down like this, with this being the ground plate. This would be 2 tall, this 3 tall, this 1 tall. Why doesn't... Oh wait, it's 4 tall over here. Never mind. My mistake. There we go. Okay, so this one isn't tilted. So this one has to be upright, like this. But for these two, it doesn't matter. So what we did before, we can keep this one like so, and then add this one and turn it 180 degrees, so that it's like this. And then we'd have included... Actually, no, that would only reach 3 wide, wouldn't it? Does it? No, sorry. It does reach 4 wide. Because this one's like this like this. And then... should really be quite easy. And luckily it is. So these ones are interesting because we can basically slide these into each other. So this one would be here and the other two would be here. So it's basically a block of 2 by 3. And then we need to include this odd piece over here. We could also say we could make a bit of an odd... Nah, actually no. I was gonna say maybe an odd star shape, but if you put these next to each other, you have 2 middle parts that are blank. We can only fill one. With the way these puzzles work, you can't separate one empty block. So, what is the best thing we could do? We could put this piece over here, maybe. And then we wouldn't have included this one, so that's a bit annoying. Actually, we could just ignore this one and lock that one afterwards. Don't necessarily have to include it in the same piece as this. So what we could do is use this shape like this, add these two together for the 3 by 2 right here. So we'd get something such as this, and then we lock this one in separately. And that pumps away the water. Nice. It's a bit murky, this water, isn't it? Right, so what is the significance of this one? So I don't know what the blue ship does, so let's just go like this. Apparently that doesn't work. So since I can't separate this one, of course, like this wouldn't work, of course, because of this one. So what if I interpret this being empty as clearing out one of these blocks? Then it should be only 2 tall. It does work, so let's try if the same applies to this one. Right, 4 minus 2 is too high. Too tall. So we could say this one cancels out one of these. So that should be this shape. But I have a hunch that that doesn't work, because since we separated these two, this one doesn't actually apply to this one. But if we do it differently, so we interpret it as cancelling out either one of these, then these two shapes are in the same separated section. So it should apply to one another, and then it does work. Same goes for this one. Like there's 4 squares that fit in here. We have to do -2. This one has to be in the same section, so we could just separate these 2 blocks, shave them off basically, and that does work. Interesting. So we can't cut off this one, this corner right here. Can't cut off this corner right here. What we might be able to do is cut off this one right here. That would make a shape such as this. I think that should work. Right, I didn't hear anything, so I'm gonna assume it might not have activated a cable. I don't think it did, no. So is there anything over here? What's this, for example? It's a kraken. Oh, no, actually, it looks a bit like a boat. And the boat is really useful for getting around. As you can see, that is really useful. We can now see the different puzzle types. So, I don't know if you can see to the left there, near the docks, we have the symmetry ones we did. Then we have the colored dots and just regular mazes. We have the hexagons. We have the tree ones. The ones that worked with lights and shadow and glints. And these triangles that we haven't done before. We haven't done the mazes yet, because we needed these puzzles. Those stars are new. The Tetra ships are where we are right now. We have more colored puzzles. We did the sound ones in the jungle over here. Hey Orion. Yeah, everything good. We just did a little bit of the swamp. Just started playing. So, I haven't finished it yet. We did the first section, the little blue section. I'll show you in a bit. Just checking out the map, because it's useful to know where we find all the puzzles. This one, for example, interesting. We know how these work right now, because we want to shift this little piece over there. And this one's actually tilted the right way. That one isn't, because it's like this, and we want it to be like so. I think if we try to match the shape we want... is it the... I think I know which one you mean. Yeah, I don't know if I need to stand here, I think so. Yeah, I think this is one of the most famous optical illusions of the Witness, isn't it? Oh god. I talked about how slow these platforms are. And I did not overstate my frustration. It is so slow. Good grief. Like, I'm actually not gonna wait for this. I have more puzzles to solve over there. That is absolutely one of my biggest gripes with these platforms. They're mind-numbingly slow. Right, so we know how this one works now. We need to make this shape. Question is, can we still... I think we have to go like this, actually, to make that shape and not get crossed over. Yeah, when I was playing this before, I took my sweet time exploring exploring the island, and a lot of visual jokes like that were... I did see them. I do like them a lot. Just shows how much attention was given to designing this game. Even if it serves no purpose at all, just, you know, other than just having you giggle a bit. But I love it. The island is so condensed, and still it's so well designed and intricately, you know, intricately designed. It's just great. Actually, I'll give the platform a bit of time to catch up, but I'm not gonna wait for that. So let's go into here. Oof, this is even murkier. Yeah, it's... I really wish this game would get maybe not a direct sequel, but like a spiritual successor, because I do love it a lot. Right, holy hell. That's a lot to take in. Right, I think it's easier than it looks. So we keep this one like so, this one up here, and the tetra shape like here. So basically we have all but this little space covered. And then we put this one here and this one like here. Yeah, thanks Ryan. We'll make it work. Right, so I think I said this should work. And then you'd have this shape. And then let's imagine this one goes here. But unfortunately, I think we need to find a space to fit this 4 one in here. If we place these two in here, that won't work, it won't fit. So is there a way we can make it fit? What if we... say it goes in here. I'm just stuck on this one mostly. This one's annoying and making it hard to fill in all the spaces. The other ones are not too bad actually. So let's presume we fit these two together. Of course we can't actually close it off like this, but we should be able to do it like this. Then the four tall one, maybe it needs to come here. And this one goes here. And these two go here. You know, especially with puzzles that become complicated like these, this is also very much a game where you could use a notepad and just draw something out. Because it does get a bit hard to remember every step you took. I think we're not quite yet at that level, but there's certainly puzzles in this game that sort of beg to be just hand drawn. Of course, it doesn't really make for good streaming content. So... yeah, I mean, fair play to you. It does work. It does really work and help you just keep track of what you've done in your mind. Let's try to maybe... So these three should work like this. And then if we go like this, that should have all of those included. Is there a shape we can make? If we... This is the shape we had, right? So if we kind of go like... Wait, I think I might have it. I think. Actually, maybe not. Damn it! Okay, let's do this one more time. So, this is the shape we have if we include all the ones on the left. And if we want to include the one to the right... Huh. course, they don't necessarily have to be in the same spot, which does make it tricky. Like, these could be anywhere. So, let's say we exclude this one, like just the tall one to the right here. Where would we mess up? So we have this one over here. You could also say let's put this Z-shaped one over here, and this one on top. And we'll put this tall one somewhere on the left over here. And then this one stays here, the square goes here. And then we just need to I think basically this one would be missing. As the only one, we can't really lock that one in. What if we put this tall one up here, and the square over here, and then this one next to this, so we are missing this basically. So the tall one goes here, and square on top, and that one. Which ones are we missing? Then we'll put this one like here. And the Z shape down here. Jesus. Hey, Rick, can you draw me on WhatsApp again? Jesus, I'm freaking out. This one's tough. Like harder than I thought it would be. Because I feel like this, everything's supposed to be relatively in place. But maybe it's not. Ah, nice. Okay, thank you. Right. I don't know if this works. I don't think so. So the tall one's on the left, and then, jeez, yeah, that's a good idea. Hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's not impossible, but it takes a bit. So if this tall one goes up on this one, we'd have this covered, this covered, this covered, and this. So we'd just be missing this space, basically. And... ooh, good shout. Let's see. Basically, we want to get in this one over here, maybe, and lock this one off. And then... oh, good lord. Good lord. Alright, let's just draw a bit. So basically, I think if we close this off, the bottom part should be right. That should work. The question now is, what can we do about this? I think if we could cross it off like this, it would actually fit. I think it would actually fit if we could cross over like this. Which is really annoying. But of course we don't actually have to cross it off, do we? So I think we just need to make sure this one's cut off and this one's cut off. I think that's actually all that is required. Oh man, that took way too long. I don't know why I just couldn't form that image. Maybe I should have just counted blocks or something. Just see how many blocks we're missing. And see if that may have worked to figure out. Yeah. Actually, that might be a good tactic for next time. Just counting how many blocks we need to fill in, how many are left over. And then we have a bit more of an idea of how many we need to cut off, and that might help with figuring out which ones need to go. Now, how do I get over there again? Oh, actually, did I go down there? I think I may have only gone down here. So we might have to go back. So I think like so. You see, I'm getting better at these, just a tiny bit. Boring. Let me through. Thank you. Right. So, how come this one isn't... okay. It hasn't started pumping because we need to be in here. I totally glossed over that. Oh, this is the platform. Okay, interesting. So, I think this one's very easy. Just this one on the top row, and then cut off one of these. So it's only 3 tall. Actually, question is, how do we do that when the exit's here? If the exit was down here, it would have been easy because I could have just gone around. But now it seems I can't. But I can, of course, switch these. So this will be the bottom row, and this one goes on top. And like this. There we go. I think pretty much the same idea. This one down here. And make it 3 wide maybe. Then cut off the top as well. Make it like this. So I'm thinking we cut off this part, the bottom left one, and make it go like this. And then it's going to be 4 wide, like this. But I think we can't, because we need to close off these two. We can't really do that without... At least I'm thinking we can't. Maybe we can, doing it like this. Yeah, no problem. Right, same idea. But now we need to form a square and then like erase it again. So we have to find a way to make a square here. I think the easiest part would be, or the easiest way would be to make a square over here and break it down. Because we do need to include all of these, otherwise the trick doesn't work. So what if we go like this? Actually, can we make a square in a non-existing block? That makes sense. So say if I use these two and put the bottom two here where it doesn't exist, does that still count is the question. We could also do is let's say we put this one here and this one here. Maybe put them So what I'm thinking now is, what if we switch these two and then put them next to each other? Of course that wouldn't fit on this panel, but if you can erase blocks that aren't supposed to be there, like aren't supposed to fit, let's say we put these ones next to each other, like flip them or swap them out. So this side would be leaning against this side. And then we erase the block of 4 in the middle. Then we'd end up with a line of 4, like so. And then we put on this one on top. And we'd hit all symbols. And we'd end up with a line and the right shape. Okay, so that does work. So you can make something that doesn't fit on the panel originally and then erase it, and as long as it fits afterwards, that should work. That's good to know. So for example, we could say we're gonna place this tetra shape in here, and then we delete this middle one, so that we'd cut off this corner. We could erase this one. So we just have to find out which one's easiest to then erase, basically. Let's say we go like so. And the only problem we'd have is we cut off the bottom one, like so. And that should work. The only problem is, of course, the shape we have right now doesn't really work. The line we're drawing. But I think in general it's not a bad idea. We just need to find out which one's easiest to cut off. Could also go like this maybe. But of course then we need to cut off this one as well. But fitting this one in here is probably the right call, or we could try to fit it in here actually. That might be even better. So we go like this. It's just we need to find a way to. Maybe we can't cut off this part, this corner, because then it wouldn't have this whole shape in here. We could cut off this one, and then we need to erase one more thing, I think. Actually, no, we've erased this one, right? If we do it like this, then we have erased that one. Alright. So basically, it's just finding out which one is the best to erase other than this one or this one. Because that is the best way to fit this shape in there. Now just finding out which is the best shape to cut off as well. So I'm thinking we could place it in here. And maybe erase this one so we can go like this. Of course, we'd get in trouble with this shape up here. We need to cut off as well. Basically, these ones in the middle, those are the ones we need to get rid of, because you can't cut out one singular space without crossing over a line. It just doesn't work. Could also place this one up here maybe, and we'd have a neater shape near the end. And then delete this one, and actually, if we place this one in here and delete this middle one, then we could go like... could we go like that? I don't think so, because we'd get in trouble here, wouldn't we? Let's just try. No, of course that wouldn't work. I think we might have to get rid of something in the bottom here. Hmm. I remembered these puzzles being hard at times, but didn't think I'd get stuck like this. Do any of you guys have a clue which, which blocks are the best ones to cut off, to erase with these blue symbols? Let's see. Should be some way to do this, of course. I just can't see it right now. What if I put this thing in here and then erase this one and then erase this one? Does not work. So we'd get something like this, I think. And up here. Oh, finally. Thank the Lord. That took way too long. And I'm a bit ashamed to admit, I think I may have just not looked at where the exit was. I just assumed it was in the top right instead of in the top left. And I think that might have screwed up my thought process a couple times. Anyway, this cable just powered up. Oh, now we can go in here, right? Yes. Right, cool. That's interesting. Huh. So we locked in 3 places, but it still worked. So what if we did this? Okay, that would have worked as well. That's interesting. So if there's nothing left, I think it doesn't really matter what the shape is. It just cancels out all commands of making a shape. So, like, of course, if we did like this, the blue symbol wouldn't apply to this. But whether we make it like this or like this just says cancel out making a shape of 2. So in this case, make a shape of 0, basically, meaning doesn't matter, dude. Like so. Okay, that's good to know. So with that knowledge, as long as we could say I think as long as these 2 representing these, this one and this one are in the same shape and this one's locked off, it doesn't really matter. So as long as we have it like this, that should work. That's good to know. And the same probably applies to this. So let's say these 3 represent these 3. This one represents this one. That's a square cancelled out. And this one will cancel out this one. Of course, naturally, you'd say, let's just go like this. But that doesn't work. So we need to find a way, like the way we want to do this is to make sure that they're both cancelled out completely. I want to imagine. So could we go like this? Indeed we can. And finally, here we are. Now, I wonder what those are and if we can actually reach them, or have to advance a little bit further before we can solve those. Ooh, actually I do see a theme. These are 9 squares. If there's 9 squares, indeed, that might alter the shape of the platform. Let's do this one first. We want to get rid of 2 spots. So as long as we do this, that should work. Nice. Ah, and that lowers the 2 squares that we're on. Alright, and we want to get over there. So let's see if we can gradually change the shape of this platform until we found a way over there. Like that, to raise that one and lower this one. Let's see, can we still do that? This should work, I just don't know if that helps us. I don't think it does. Actually, it might. It actually might. So let's see if we... It's just we need to stand on it when we lower it. Let's stand over here. Actually, I think we can't lower it because this one is the square we're standing on right now. I don't think we can. Let's try and... Interesting, actually. Let's try to do it like this again. So we're on the platform that's being lowered. And then like this again. Hopefully, of course, we're not able to see through this. Or at least not solve it. Let's make sure I'm on the right platform, actually. So this should make sure that I'm able to move here. And now it should just be a case of doing this. And we got it. Oh, that was actually a fun puzzle. So we can activate the laser here. Making for our sixth laser, actually. We're progressing quite nicely. So, where do we want to go next? We can go to what I like to call the Flower Tower. We could go and try to solve the mazes this time, now that we know how this works. Or we could go to the quarry, because that required knowing this mechanic as well. We could also go to the tree houses, although I'm not completely sure if we know the required mechanics already. Actually, let's keep this like this, and we'll go through this path. Oh, did I just miss it? Yeah, this path right here. So, up to you guys. Tell me, where do you want to go next? Let's do the mazes, see if we now have all the mechanics required. So we did try to do this yesterday, and we basically came to the conclusion that there was a puzzle further into the maze. This one was fine, and so was the next one. I think the one after that required to understand those Tetris shapes. I think it was this one. Indeed. So now we know that we need to start here, go like this, and close it off like this. So let's see if we can do that. So it's from where we start off to the bottom right here. going 3 left, 2 up, 1 right, and then back to the edge, and then just the top row. Of course, I walk on here, but that's not necessarily a bad thing, because I need to do that anyway. So, we can check where we are. We need to go 1 more step to the left, and 2 up, then here, and close it off. And then we can't actually pass over here. We can activate it. The question now is, can we maybe walk through a border? And I think we can. It's not the usual way around, but it works all the same. There we go. Oh, let's open this door up, just for, I don't know, good measure. Shortcut. I don't actually know if those count as well for all the extra puzzles you could solve on the island. Since it's not really a puzzle, is it? I don't know if that counts, but it's good to do it anyway. Right, so we start off here. What we could do is we could visualize it as this one standing upright and this one hanging down below. So we just go like this and then close off down here. So we just go 1 to the right all the way up, 2 to the right all the way down, and to the finish. Ah, well, that's a problem. They are actually a combination of the dock puzzle with the symmetry. So instead of having to solve both of them, we need to solve one of them and it should solve both. So if we go like this, it should work for the other way around as well. So just 3 to the right, 2 to the left. It should be really easy. It's just that you need to know how the symmetry puzzles work before you could do this. Although this one's so easy you could technically solve it without knowing. Right. Is a gate as well? Yes, it is. Let's open that one up. And now we can go into the tower, I suppose. Might be some more puzzles over there. So this one is not lit yet, so I think I'm going to have to solve these puzzles. I don't actually know which one to start with. Is it the left one or the right one? We can solve this one. So it really shouldn't be too hard, I think. But that might also be famous words. Famous last words. Let's see, because we could say this one goes to the bottom here, and then we place these two up there. Actually, that doesn't work, does it? Or we might have to... So is there maybe a clue in here? Can we use these ones to solve the puzzle for us? Like, that could actually be the trick, that they are helping you out. I think that might be it, actually. Let's see, if we go 2 up, 1 to the left, let's try to match this shape. So 2 up. Let's see, what do we have over here? So that's the one locked over there. The only problem I can see is that if we use this solution, then we end up somewhere near here, I believe, at the end. Right here, and we can't cross over anymore, so that's a problem. Other than that, I think it does work. We might do it a bit differently though. So, cross it off like this. See if that works. I think it might actually. I think that might actually be it. Damn it. Where did I go wrong? That might be where I went wrong. But now I can't close it like this anymore, which is a problem. So the problem I can see is the route I took at the top right. I think I went through here, which of course is closed off now. Or is it? Wait, let's try this again, see if we can match the shape, at least for the first part. Maybe just close it off like this. Of course that doesn't quite work. Instead of going up like this, we could... Does this work, maybe? I think this might actually work. Alright, let's check. So it doesn't work because these white ones are in with the black ones. Damn it. So how do I solve that? So I'm assuming because there's gaps in here that match up with this puzzle that I'd have to use these solutions to actually solve them, but there might be only one right solution to actually solve this one and multiple for those. And also the annoying part is this endpoint doesn't line up with this start point, and the same goes for this one and this one. So that's a bit annoying because it doesn't match up exactly. So I can understand that, like, this shape over there, this shape and this shape could totally work here and here. But how to get through this section then without crossing over here? That's a bit tricky. That is a bit tricky. So maybe I should just ditch that and try to look for this solution without looking at these puzzles. So I could combine these two Tetris shapes like so, and then yeah, I have to include this one, which doesn't work. If only this Tetris shape was one more to the left, and then it could have worked, because I could have closed it off like that. Right, I'm pretty sure I have to get over here. Otherwise I just can't close off those sections properly. So how did I do that? So 4 down and then to the left. But that doesn't work because of this gap right here. So I might have to do it like this. So it's definitely not going to be the same solution as all the way down there. Because that just doesn't seem to work for this situation. This might work. It should, actually. It's just, how do I now get that 4 wide shape in? That's the problem a bit. I could do it like this. Let's see. That one's tilted. I could make 4 here. Let's say we make it like this, and then this is such a tricky part. I've got the first half covered, but how to make the shapes then without crossing over some lines? Does any one of you see the solution? Actually, could this be it? Let's say we have the 4 wide at the very top. And then... Ah, no, it's the wrong way, isn't it? Tilted the wrong way. Let's put those 4 at the top still. And then go like this. And then... like this, maybe? What is going on? Why can't I solve this? Hey Raz. Yeah, just trying to solve this puzzle and it's not going great. Um, it's hard to explain. I have to make sure that I go, that I pass both these hexagons with a line, that I separate these two colors, and I have to lock um, these shapes into a line in the same shape. They can add up, so you can have this one up here and then this one down here, as long as it all still adds up. It's tricky to explain. Yeah, it is a bit. Sometimes with this game I just can't tell if I'm just missing something very obvious or not. Hmm. This is almost it. It's just this one right here that I should be locking off. Otherwise, that would have been it. I don't know what I'm missing. Actually, I don't actually have to pass these two in the same, like, right after one another, do I? What if I go like this? And just, you know, go like this. Would give me a bit more room, maybe? So let's try again. I could lock off this one. Might be easier. Lock off this one. And let's see. I don't know if that's the right thing to do, actually. Could say... Almost have it, I feel like. So, if we go like this, does that work? I think it's the other way around. So that doesn't work. What if I go like... What if I go like this? Oh, finally, I think I have it. Let's check. Colors are separated, hexagons are there. Finally, man. That took about 20 minutes too long. And some of these puzzles are so much easier to just use paint or a notepad and just draw it out so you can see where you're going wrong. Just of course, can't really stream that right now. I do like the challenge of having to imagine it all in my head instead of, you know, drawing it, but it does make some things so much harder. Alright. I think there's still half of the maze that we haven't done, so let's check that one out. So this seems to be the exit. So let's check out... Ooh, I think we need to go through there. Right. It really is just a maze. And the question now is, how did we walk? Okay, so we went to the left there, and then it was the third to the right, and then back. I think it was like, ooh, like this. Okay, good. Oh, this is the middle again. We need to go here. Right, so there's something we might be missing. Because we don't have any gates. I do see some weeds or grass, I don't know what it is. I'm going to assume that we might not want to cross the grass. So maybe like this. Nice. Yeah, weeds, Raz, but not that kind. There's a nice view. Oh, there we have the supposed girl sitting in a tree. As we can see right there, kinda. Right, what's going to be the gimmick of this one? Okay, I'm gonna say sound. This sounds dry, and this sounds really moist. So let's find a dry path. So I think we went like this. Oh, no, like this. Nice. Hardest platinum, I'm actually not sure. I know the longest one was Skyrim. Probably. The hardest one, I don't know. I don't know if I've done any super hard platinums recently that I can remember. I do know I did Snake Pass, which has, which is like a really unique platformer game. I really do recommend it to everyone who's into platformers. And for that one, there's a gold trophy where you have to play each level without dying. So whenever you die, you have to manually restart. That's a good question, actually. I'm not really sure. I'll get back to you on that one. I'll look it up in a little bit. I don't know if this... I don't think it sounds any different. So what could it be? What could be the trick of this one? Actually, there is a section right here. Like this little square. I don't think that one exists over here. Ooh, loved Fallout 4. It was actually the first Fallout game I played seriously. I did about an hour of New Vegas and Fallout 3, and I still intend to go back, but I never really played those. So Fallout 4 was sort of an introduction to the series, but but it has all the qualities of Skyrim, like expansive world. You can just go out and explore, which I really liked. But also it has guns, which is a nice change from Skyrim. The DLC was awesome. I absolutely loved, especially Nuka World. I actually bought well, not really a poster, it's more on cloth, but like a pretty big map on cloth of the park, sort of the map you'd get when you enter a park. Is really nice. I don't know if it's really hated by the fans. If it is, then I mean, I don't think I'm qualified to talk about it, as I, haven't played any Fallouts for realsies, but I liked it. I did really like it. I think the path that does exist is somewhat like this. Yeah, I mean, maybe it is. Maybe it is inferior, I just can't judge on that. But as a standalone experience, I really did enjoy Fallout 4. Like, I did have some fun with it. I haven't played it with mods, to be fair. So that might make it even better. Not really sure. Actually, there was another puzzle up there, wasn't there? Yeah, for me personally, Fallout 4 was a really nice one. But especially DLC, Nuka World and Far Harbor were really cool. Ooh, I just don't really watch a lot of YouTubers. Not really in the trophy hunting business either. I think the YouTube channels I did watch were Funhouse, but not anymore since all the original people kind of left by now. And I do sometimes watch Jimmy Broadbent, which I did find fun. Alright, so I'm gonna assume... This might be a really weird assumption, but I'm going to assume you'll have to draw the path that we just took for every puzzle. So we go here. And then let's see, what path did we take over there? I think we can just about see it. I think we took this path here. Actually, let me go downstairs real quick and I'll try to memorize. At least the first one's pretty clear to see, even from up there, so that's good. These final ones, I also have to compensate for the direction. So of course this looks like I'm going up, but on the big puzzle I'll actually be starting here and go down. So kind of have to play with that perspective as well. Let's say we start top right, and it's immediately left, halfway, left again, and down right. Okay, down. I'll try to remember that. I could take a screenshot and look that up, but it's sort of cheating, isn't it? Right. It's going to be sort of a J shape in the beginning, and then going back. Right, so this is just pretty much along the outer edge all the time, except for the last part here. This one's going to be a J shape, and this one immediately left, halfway, left again. Right. Let's see if I can remember that. So right here is third one. Okay, yeah, got it. So, oh boy, I feel like I already screwed it up. Can we go like this? Alright, I'm pretty sure about the last one, but not the third one. I think we may have walked like this, didn't we? I'm pretty sure about that actually. Let's see. Oh, no. To the left. Right, and let's hope this is it. Oh, thank God. Alright. Well, I think we pretty much did this section now. So the question to you guys once more is, where do we go next? We can go to the flower tower, to the town, the quarry, or the tree houses, I think. I might be forgetting one extra zone. But it's up to you guys where we go next. Jeez, Raz. Not nice, my dude. I'm trying, okay? I'm trying. We could check out the town and see if we have all the puzzle mechanics figured out that we need. I have a feeling we don't. We could go to the quarry. But again, if any of you has a suggestion, then please let me know. And I'll see what I can do. I feel like the town sort of combined almost all puzzle mechanics. So I'm not sure if we can actually do those. What's this, for example? Let's go to the quarry, check that one out. I think we might understand it a bit better now. There we go. And now we know how these puzzles work, at least. Let's see. Of course, we can't keep this one in here because we do need to keep the shape. We can't tilt it. But of course, this one protrudes out into nothingness, which doesn't work for us. So we have to kind of combine it with this one to make a shape that does work. Actually, if I put this one like this one like this, it could work. The only question is, can I block it off like that? I think I can. Cool. Alright, we need to be up there in the end. Let's follow this cable and just track it back to where we need to go. You can still see it there. Still here. I think, is it, doesn't seem to be activated yet. Ooh, that's nice. Let's activate the boat here, just for good measure. I like how this boat just rises up from like the deep dark blue. Like, who knows how deep that is? Does this panel work? No, it does not. Ooh, but these ones are activated. Problem is, we haven't figured out the treehouse yet. So, these stars, I don't exactly know what they mean. So the quarry will remain unsolved for a little bit. So maybe let's go to the tree houses. Because the tree houses do have those star puzzles. This is where we are right now. Let's travel to the tree house. I always loved this part. Also because you can choose the speed at which the boat travels. So if you're in a hurry, you put it into maximum gear. If you just want to relax and take in the view, you put it on lowest gear. At the maximum speed, it is actually hauling quite a bit. Okay, it's power sliding and everything. And there we are. That's our stop. Thank you. Alright, the tree houses. Oh joy. I'm just gonna assume like this. Okay, sure. So how do we do this? If it's just about separating colors, this should work fine. But apparently there's something else going on. So if we lock them into the same space, that works. And this is interesting. So again, try to lock them into the same section. And again, I suppose. Go like this, maybe? Yes. Okay, so now there's 4. We could go like this and see what happens, or just try to divide them evenly. Let's see what happens. Okay, so that doesn't work. That does work. So maybe we have to divide them evenly. Like so. Alright. Oh. Hmm. So, if that is true, if you have to divide them evenly or in pairs, and this shouldn't work. But then this should work. Okay, so I think we've got to figure that out. We have to divide them either in pairs or we have to divide them evenly. One of those two. We go like this. Ah, well, now we can test it out. Is it dividing them evenly or in pairs? It is in pairs. Alright. That doesn't seem to work. Maybe like this? No. Probably not. So what happens actually if we divide them by 4? Does that count? Okay, it doesn't. It has to be pairs. There we go. Right. Of course, it's not going to be as easy as I think it might be. Of course not. Hmm. There we go. Nice. Right, so which way do we go? Wait, is there not supposed to be a puzzle here? How do we get across this? That's odd. There are puzzles here. Ah, awesome. Combining the two. Hmm. I'm thinking of making an H, but I don't think that will work with building it. Actually, it might if I go like this. Yeah, no, that does work. And same for this. I was gonna say I could make this one like this and this one like this. No, no, I'd split up these two pairs, I think. Which is not a good idea. The question is, do I even want to combine these two? Probably yes, because space is quite limited and these are very far apart. We don't want to... So either we make a shape that excludes both of these, or we make a shape that includes both of these. I'm having a bit of trouble trying to imagine a shape that would include and both of these and both of the stars. I don't know if we can even do that. This is interesting. The problem is if we try to exclude these, this white one would cover up the whole width of this puzzle, sort of by default separating these two. So we kind of have to find a shape that includes both of them, I feel. But again, I'm struggling to find a shape that could include all four of these symbols. Especially when we can't tilt this one. Otherwise I would have put it like this and this one next to it. But that doesn't work. Because this one has to be flat like this. Actually, if we put this one on the bottom and put this one on top, that should work, doesn't it? Oh no, it doesn't, because then this shape wouldn't be included in that shape. This is a tricky one, this. I could put this at the top, this one in here. Again, sometimes I'm just struggling to understand why I don't see a solution that is seemingly pretty obvious. Right, I think this one might be very similar to like the bridge near the swamp, where it might go in different ways depending on how you solve it. Just there doesn't seem to be any other way to go, really. But with 3 exits, it sure does give off a vibe like that, where the way you solve it can give you different results. Just that this might be a problem. Can we even solve it sideways? Can solve it like this, I think. Actually, no we can't, because that would make it 4. So that would also not work. Actually, wait. Huh. Alright. So, what is the significance of this color change? Does that mean that this one has to be in the same space as the... Actually, there's only 3 stars. So I assume this one might replace a purple star. So this one has to be in the same locked off section as another star to sort of make a pair as such. That's the only thing I can think of, really. So let's suppose we close it off like this. And then we kind of want to place this one here, shove this one over here. And then we could add this as well. Problem is I can't just, keep it like here. Does this work? It does. That's good. Okay, interesting. So these ones have to go together. And this one cuts off a corner of one of these. So we could imagine is cutting off these 3 for one here and placing this one up here and then twisting that so that you sort of get a shape like this. Nice. Ooh, new color. So I assume those have to be split. Is there a way to make a shape that includes all of these and a purple one? I think that might be a tough call, but I could try. Again, the question is, do we want to make a shape that includes these purple ones or exclude it? I think to split these two colors, it's easier if we find a shape that does have at least one of them in it. And the way they're positioned, I think it's going to be a tough call to include this piece over here into a shape that has both of the green ones in it. It might not be impossible. Actually, if we put a piece like this here, and then another piece like this, and put this one over here. Problem is, this one will be sectioned off from that one. I don't think that will work. What if we put this one up here, then a piece like this and a piece like this? But I think that might actually exclude this block right here then. Let's see how many. It's a lost puzzle. That's great. Could also get a piece like this, one like this. No. Any of you guys have a clue, maybe? Could also have one lying like this, and then another like this, and then two tall. So we actually, how will we do that? And that doesn't work. let's say we put these two up here. And then we twist this piece size like this. And then this one maybe. No, that doesn't work. Maybe I'm just too hyper focused on a certain solution. If any of you guys see it, then please do tell me. It's probably going to be like something really obvious. I'm just not seeing it yet. No. I'm close. I'm close like this. It's just this block right here doesn't fit. I'd like to imagine I could maybe do it like this. But then what? So these two up top here, and then this one like this. And then those would be two separate blocks, right? Two different sections. Since there's like no real good reason, I mean we could go here anyway, apparently. Maybe keep this one for later, because I don't know what the significance of that one is as well. So it's not needed for the laser. Maybe we'll like get told how to how these multiple color stars work. So that's the first one I've encountered thus far. So maybe there's maybe I wasn't supposed to do that quite yet. Like this, for example. I don't think I can actually split them, can I? Right, okay. So as long as you don't have more than one pair of the same color in each section, then it's alright. Like this. So maybe that's the trick for the previous puzzle as well. Let's see. Yeah, that might have been why I just couldn't figure that one out. Gosh. How do we know that? These ones aren't too hard to solve. Oh. Actually. I'd have to do it like this, maybe. Yeah, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work, but maybe if I... There we go. Interesting. So in theory, I could just make one plane with all 6 stars in it, and it should work. The most important thing is to not exclude, or, you know, have one color have only 1 star in a singular plane. So right now, I could just go like this. So I assume, since there's multiple exits for one of these earlier ones as well, this one, I assume you can make it go to the left or to the right. So right here, I could solve this panel, see where we end up, but I'm pretty sure that we're supposed to go to the right with this panel. But we could solve this one first and see what happens. And what happens if we solve this one later on. This one's harder than it looks, isn't it? Like, I know I could make this line here. The top section would be fine. How do I go like this? Alright, so this doesn't actually go anywhere. Thank God we can't fall off. So how about we solve this one again? Try to finish over here. So like this. I hope okay, they do stay solved. That's good. Wouldn't want to do that again. Okay, this is some sort of bridge. There's 2 cables. Okay, just solve it like this, can I? I could, okay. Or I could solve it like this. There we go. Bridge opened. It's nice. So I don't have to walk all this way again and go through the boat whenever I need to. Actually, can I solve this puzzle or... Oh, or is that maybe... If I had solved this one to the right, that I could also end up there by solving that puzzle to the left. So there's just 2 ways to reach that platform. Okay, interesting. Basically, there's the yellow box, there's a platform, I need to get there. But I'm not reaching there with this one. So let's see if we can figure this one out then. So we don't necessarily have to separate those 2 colors. So then it's easier to exclude both of those stars and make a shape with just these blocks. So let's say we make this one stand up like this. And then this one stand up like this, and then put the 2 on top. So we'd get something like this, I think. Nice, okay, so that's it. And I'm glad I moved on, didn't try to brute force that puzzle, because that could have taken a long time. Just confused what happens to this one. Is there one we can solve to the left here? There is. Okay, the question is, can we solve this in the exact same way, just to the left? Trying to visualize if we can. I think we should be able to. Would be something like this, right? Oh. Wait. Is it not? Oh, right. Oops. So now we found a way, very sketchy way I might add, through the trees. But still, no puzzles to solve. That's interesting. Or maybe that's like the sort of the world's way to tell you that that was supposed to be the way, but it got demolished. Something like that. Anyway, we don't really... Yeah, I mean, if there's no way, there's no way. Actually, I wouldn't be surprised. I haven't checked. I wouldn't be surprised if down on the ground below there would be some missing panels that just fell down. Let's check that out some other time. But now, let me solve this one the right way again so we can access that puzzle or whatever it is. So it should be something like... Oh... It's not the right way. Something like this. Right, cool. Let's move to that staircase over there. I might have to backtrack quite a bit. Really curious now if there's some panels somewhere on the beach down there. Right. So there's two ways. We could go up this tree. So that opens the door. And assuming because of the tick-tock sound and the line gradually disappearing, that's gonna close. Right. So we have to find a way over there. And then, so I see panels over there to the left. So I need to find a way to get across through those panels, but then also make sure I can do that quickly enough to enter before the door shuts. Alright, let's give it a whirl. Interesting. Nope. Yeah, that's it. Oh, right. So, assuming most of you guys have played this game, what was your favorite part? What was your favorite section of the island? Or favorite puzzle mechanics? Alright, immediately my thoughts right now is if I have to go the same way like now, so down those twisty stairs, going all the way through here, up here, through that little tree house, across that bridge, and then again making a U-turn to get to that orange bridge, the door is going to be shut by now, and by then. So I'm assuming that I'm going to get another panel that can be solved in multiple ways, so I can sort of shorten the route from the door panel, because otherwise that's not gonna work. That's definitely not gonna work. Can I just go like this? I like this. This makes me feel good, as if I'm actually smart at solving these. No, that doesn't work. That is annoying. Really thought I was onto something there. Nope. Hmm. Wait, what? There are two white stars. Why couldn't they be in the same space? They are a pair, right? Did I miss something important with how these puzzles work? I thought as long as they are separated as a pair, it's fine. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay, so these white stars cannot be in the same space as the white squares? Oh, actually, these white stars need to be in pairs, but they they cannot only not have more white stars than two, they cannot have more white dots than two. Like they can't be more than two white symbols in total. So they have to be separated from the other white dots because that would add up to more than a pair, basically. That's interesting. So for example, just to test my theory, this shouldn't work. This should work. Okay, that's that figured out then. And because this is an uneven number, I have to make sure this becomes a pair. But like this, the white and the black squares are not divided. That might be tricky. Could maybe go like this though. So I wonder where the panels might come in that go to the right as well. I could go like this. And the problem is I need to section that one off as well. Maybe go like so. There we go. Alright, we're slowly getting the hang of it now. How do I do this? There we are. That's the panel that goes the other way as well. We need those. I think I only have to divide these two dots, right? So could just go like this. Okay. I love how this game makes you second guess yourself sometimes by making something so easy where it's been gradually getting harder and harder, and then they throw in an easy one and just totally confuse you because you're like, that can't be it. Um, hmm. Maybe the other way around. Actually, what if we do it like this? Kinda need to close off. Yeah, that's one too many, but we could maybe do it like this. Of course, that's 4. Interesting. mean, everything's right like this, except for that one black dot. Maybe we need to do something weird like this. Of course not. I feel like I'm getting close, but it's just not quite yet right. Oh god. Oh god. Right. Surely this is too easy. Okay. Apparently not. It's not a lot of space to maneuver around in here, is there? To close one of those off. I feel like the only way could be to just... It's also very annoying that this makes an uneven number. Actually, I think that might be it. If I include this one. Never mind. This would work if only I could get through my own tail there. And that would make 3 again, so that doesn't work. Hmm. Has any one of you guys got an idea? I'm actually stumped. I'm actually stumped. I don't technically need to solve it, but I want to. I want to clean up these zones. But what the Christ, man? So the problem is, I kind of have to separate this one from all the stars because this one functions as a star, but it doesn't work the other way around. So since I have 4 stars, I need to make 2 pairs out of them, and I need to separate the white square from all the black squares. So the question is, how do I do that if this corner right here is so crowded and I can't pass my own line twice? How do I get rid of that? Is it just like, oh, I can't believe this. I'm actually so disappointed in myself. Come on. Right. So, question is, it works like this, going, just snaking around. Question is, does that also work the other way around if I want to make it go to either the left or to the right? I mean, they are pretty symmetrical, so I'm assuming whatever works for going left works for going right. But I don't think it is the exact same solution as this one. I could try, just, see if it works. But I don't think it will. I think it has to be more like... Yeah, I've blocked up both entrances now, so that's not a good way to go about it. suppose that doesn't work either. Hmm. That doesn't work. And neither does that. Why am I blind? I hate it so much when I finally find the solution and I'm like, how can I be so stupid to not see that? Right, the question now is, weirdly enough, it seems as if there's no panel that goes to the right here, or extends long enough even. So how do I make sure I use that panel to open this door, and then get there in time before it closes? Because I don't think I can do that by going this whole way around. So the question is, do I need to solve that panel to go this way, maybe? And then maybe I need that bridge to cross this gap. I can also see what happens. Okay, now that I know that it's a simple H shape, I can just try and see what happens if I solve it like this, as we did before. And if there's anything there that will help me. Or go there, of course, to the burnt tree. I don't know if there's anything here that... I mean, this is decidedly the yellow box. But I think we need to be on the inside of this cabin, or cabinet. And another one of those. Oh, that's funny. That is a dude, apparently, making fire. That's why the tree burned down. Huh. I think I've never actually noticed that one before. That's quite funny. Right. Was a simple H shape, right? Okay, we'll go to that bridge now to see what we can do if we turn that one our way. Can we turn it? Oh, we can turn it left right here. Okay. Like this. Awesome. Okay. Let's see. So in theory we should reverse this exact pattern. Like this. Now we could get it up here. We can walk onto here. Okay, so this should work. Nice. There we go. Laser activated. Alright. And I think on that note I'm going to end the stream. Thanks everyone for watching. I think I still need a few more lasers. I can imagine there's one in the flower tower on the other side of the mountain. There's one at the quarry and there's one in the town. I might be forgetting one. But with a bit of luck, with the next stream, I should be able to manage to activate all the lasers and get to the mountain. Again, everyone, thanks for watching, and hopefully see you tomorrow, maybe? Or one of these days, I'll stream again. Thanks guys, see ya.